Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's coming right up. You're going to hear a roar of the crowd, and believe me, you will never, ever forget it. Are you ready? Count it down. Ready? Okay, here we go now. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
All right, everybody, let's get on it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
But I guess it won't be Hank Winchester that's upset since he got his long promo in, even though we missed an overtime play. But yeah, here we are. We're live on YouTube, and we'll have the complete show after the overreaction show to the Lions' 27-20 victory.
26.
26. I'm sorry, Eli. Where are you starting?
Well, I guess we start with that, don't we? It's pretty dramatic.
Lions, baby.
These are just two outstanding teams. The Lions, they're better than they were last year. They've improved, and I guess you could say the same thing about the Rams. It's a very creative game. The Rams are just terrific. Cooper Kupp is amazing. Matthew Stafford had a terrific game. 36 years old, and playing as good as ever.
Is he only 36?
36. Yeah. He made some great throws.
Been in the league for 30 years.
He was a rookie in 09, so that's
12
15 years.
12 years with the Lions.
Yeah, so 15 altogether.
He's been around a long time in this league.
Overtime, just the Lions got the ball in overtime. They won the toss, and David Montgomery. And he and Jamar Gibbs are just a great tandem. They're never in the game at the same time, but they run differently, different plays for each. Gibbs is so fast. Jameson Williams had a great game. He had 121 yards receiving.
Yeah, give it up for Jamo, Drew.
Really?
Hey, I'm happy for him.
I know you are.
Remember all the years of saying, "Is this kid any good? Is he gonna do anything?"
He's a deep threat, man. He's so fast.
Yeah, they're all fast.
Although I wanted to kill him when he tried to run around the guy instead of going forward for 4 yards from the 15-yard line at the end of the game.
When they kicked the field goal to send it into overtime.
Let's get that ironed out this week.
Rookie came through. How many field goals did he have? He had two field goals. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, two field goals.
Yeah. Jake Bates. Yeah.
Nothing terribly long, but he's rookie kicker, and you never know.
I was pretty scared about that game-tying kick, though. I don't know why.
Into regulation, yeah.
We all were.
Well, you always are. It was only 32 yards, I think, but
yeah.
Just I think the offensive line of the Lions is just still amazing.
So Penei Sewell is so good.
It's just the way they just shoved the Rams into the end zone at the end.
Fuck yeah!
They got two outstanding running backs. Goff is although
he tried his best to give that game away. Goff?
Yeah.
It wasn't his best game. He didn't play that bad.
He didn't play that badly.
He was 18 for 28 for
Goff?
217. Why are you on Goff's ass
I'm
all
just
the time?
saying, he could have lost that game.
And I guess Jamo's the star of the game. They're interviewing him as the post-game interview here.
That was great, yeah. Good for him, man.
So just a very exciting game, and one that looked like the Rams were gonna take it. The Lions got the ball back with, I think, 2:11 to go. And then a great play, Laporta, who, of course, you guys have him in your fantasy, so you're screaming all game long, throw it to Laporta.
I don't want to watch with these fantasy people. They don't even care about the game. They only care about their players.
No, I cared about the game because I had Laporta and I was playing against Cooper Kupp, so I had a big lead going in, and I ended up losing because, nobody covers Cooper Kupp, I guess.
He on my fantasy team.
Terry and Arnold was on him pretty much the whole night. I thought Terry and Arnold had a pretty shitty game.
Yeah, a lot of bad penalties.
Yeah, there were some.
Well, he had two PIs in the end zone.
Well, he's a rookie going against Cooper Kupp, the best receiver in the game, so you got to cut him a little bit of slack. But the play to Laporta, which started at their own 31 and actually ended at the Rams 31 because there was a targeting penalty or a roughness that
unnecessary roughness, yeah.
And then which made a difference so that the rookie had a shorter field goal, and then they held up. Stafford could have run out the clock with 2 minutes to go. And they got one first down, but they tightened up.
I did not think they were going to punt on 4th and 5. I thought I know Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell is going for it on 4th and 5.
It was deep in their own territory. As it turns out, he did the right thing by not going for it.
The defense came through for him.
Because if they had not gotten the 4th and 5, the game would have been over.
Except the 4th down bot said to go for it,
That's
too.
true.
Drew was vindicated by the 4th down bot.
Thank you. Yeah, because they missed the pass on 2nd and 5, and they missed it on 3rd and 5. And I'm like, you're not going to miss 3 in a row.
That's still 5 yards.
So many guys. Where was Amon-Ra all night? I mean,
Yeah,
he caught
very quiet.
4 short passes.
Well, Stafford threw the ball 48 times, 49 times, and although Goff threw a little bit more at the end, he only threw it 28 times. So
Yeah, it's pretty light.
Yeah,
No,
Laporta
Amon-Ra had 3 catches for 13 yards.
yeah,
Oh, really? Wow.
the $30 million
bizarre.
receiver.
And Laporta only had 4 receptions for 45. So between those two,
I don't know how well we observed it, but he might have been double teamed some of the time. But
So basically, J-Mo is our number 1 receiver now. Is that what you're saying, Drew?
Why not?
apparently,
Lions ran the ball. They ran the ball for 163 yards. Is outstanding.
before overtime, though, they were not. Their yardage was not that good. Montgomery ended up with 91 yards on 17 carries, but he had, 60 yards in the last series?
Yep.
About. He ran every play from that first one.
He's good in the first couple drives, though, and then kind of got away from it, man. Kind of got away from running. They had too many 3-and-outs tonight.
They'd like
too.
to set that up
I
with.
felt like the defense was on the field all night.
They did that all year long last year, where they kind of started with Montgomery, and then
Yep.
they would let Gibbs take over, the speedy Gibbs. And this one, it looks like Montgomery closed it out. He just had a hell of a
It's
series.
great.
Yeah, he was mostly the first quarter. Montgomery, the first drive, he ran the ball 5 or 6 times in a row. They wound up with a field goal that tied it at 3, and then the second quarter, it's Gibbs. So they got 2 great running backs with different styles. And I tell you, the defense, you have to credit Hutch too. Although he only had the 1 sack at the
great.
end,
He was phenomenal.
He was just harassing Stafford all night.
He got tripped. He got held. He got his face mask grabbed. They were all over him. I mean, they couldn't stop him.
I guess you have to call it the total team effort. But it was very impressive.
It really was in a way, because if the defense doesn't stop him there, the game is over.
I get so nervous watching games with Eli around now. I feel like everything I say is being picked apart. like Al, like the Collinsworth and Tirico. Are you picking them apart?
I was picking Brady apart, though, when I heard him earlier today, but let's not get to that just yet.
What's everybody talking about in the chat tonight?
So they start.
To say, what do people?
People are pretty pumped. They're pretty pumped.
How many people are in the chat?
They want you to recognize how great Jameson Williams is.
Yeah.
354 right
Give
now.
him his due.
Suck a dick. I've been waiting 2 years for him. I'm happy for him.
52-yard touchdown pass.
Why is everybody blowing him after last year? He had 25 catches last year. That is not that
'Cause his
great.
offseason's been
Excuse
so great.
me.
Yeah, he's really turned it around
Oh
character-wise,
yeah, and
too.
you can really. Everyone was really evaluating him.
You
all
should see,
offseason.
Drew, you should see his gambling winnings, too. They're off the
That's what I was going to
charts.
say. He hasn't gotten busted.
I guess all these boneheads in the chat were at practice every day.
Listen, they built this
And they
team.
never tell you anybody had a bad year, had a great off season. That never happens, even when they don't.
They've just built this team brilliantly.
It's because of hope. They really wanted Jameson Williams to
And
be
joy.
good. I wanted him to be good. I thought I wasn't ready to write him off.
I was so psyched when they drafted him, and so psyched.
You
when he was
wrote him
ready to
off
play.
too quick.
You did.
No, get out. Fuck you. He had 2 shit seasons.
Said he was
the number
immature.
one- He was an 8th pick of the draft, wasn't he, or the 12th pick?
Those were growing years.
He traded up for him, too.
And he was
If you
hurt.
guys are satisfied with that kind of
He won the
statistics
game
from a
for
first
him.
round draft pick, that's fine.
He did. He
Came in
won
with
the
a
game.
knee injury. That cost him. And last year was just stupid. The whole gambling thing was stupid. But
Should
Hey,
have
both
never
were
been
Pro Bowl
suspended.
already. 1 game. Go
you don't
ahead.
have to be smart to be a great football player, is what it proves.
MVP.
Yeah, MVP. He's got my vote.
What a difference! I mean,
I'll never criticize anyone again.
No, you should. They tend to play good. You motivated them.
I guess so.
Take credit.
got to give them credit. They come back late in the game to send it to overtime, and they win it in overtime. It was a
You know what that is, Eli?
A gritty
It's
performance.
Grit.
It
It's
was a
all
gritty
100%
performance.
grit.
Yeah, it was a pretty unusual game. I thought the offensive, they have this ability to seemingly call the right play so often, and it just seemed like it was missing in the first 3 quarters. They had 3 and outs, and they were running the ball not that well. They were 18 for 67 at one point, and they'd only thrown the ball 15 times going into the fourth quarter, and even a lot of the passes were short. It seemed like the Rams had their number a little bit, but then I don't know. It seemed like at the end of regulation and overtime, all of a sudden that magical play calling was back.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or it was the offensive line was back, one or the other.
They led 17-3. They gave up the next 17 points. It looked like a typical game that the old Lions would have lost, especially Stafford coming back, and avenging the playoff defeat last year. And they held tough. They are gritty, and they're good. They're fast. They play both sides of the ball. They've improved. The defensive backfield has improved tremendously, even though Stafford had a good night.
Am I just so...
Carlton Davis is good.
Are we just so scarred as Lions fans that when you see Stafford getting the ball back, was it 17 seconds left with all the timeouts that... You know, they're starting on the 30 because of the new kickoff rules and the touchback. It's like, he really only needs to move them 40 yards.
One past the cup.
No, it was enough time. I mean, the Chiefs quarterback, Mahomes, he had 13 seconds in that playoff game, remember?
Yeah.
13 seconds from the kickoff, and they won. That was crazy. I feel like the clock, whoever was on the clock, it was Spartan Bob or somebody.
Spartan Bob, rest in peace.
So they start the season by playing the two teams they played in the playoffs last year. So now they got the Bucks coming in. The Bucks are good, but so think of it. They finished 2 years ago 8-2. They're 12-5 last year. They're off to a good. They're just on a roll, and there's no, it isn't. Are they for real or not for real? They're there. They are a Super Bowl contending team.
I just want to mention in the chat, somebody said that the game ball went to that Applebee's customer in the Dan Campbell commercial. And somebody's wondering if
you would.
Would you? Yeah, the Applebee's girl in the commercial. I can answer that question.
Well, it's an actress.
Can we talk about how the kickoff sucks?
Well...
Yeah, it's new. It's weird, and
I think it's good. I think it's fun, man.
I think it's fine. Listen, there were so many injuries on kickoffs, and there was one return.
We want to be entertained.
Touchdown.
We don't care about the injuries. We're not getting injured.
Well, that's true. They should make the touchback though a bigger penalty. Instead of the 30, it should be like the 35, right? You kick it out of bounds, it's the 40.
Yeah, that'd be one
Make
way
it
to prevent
35 because then you want it to land in the kickoff zone or whatever they call that zone now.
Well, they may do that because this is an experiment. Until you see it in actual play, you don't know.
But the NFL had a return for a touchdown today. That was the Arizona game. The Bears had a big return. So, I mean, there's returns now.
Hey, those of you on YouTube, please subscribe and share the broadcast with your friends if you think of anybody, as we're going to be doing the Overreaction show, hopefully for the entire season this year.
How about this? Is this an overreaction when he saw the new kickoff thing Donald Trump wrote? Such an exciting part of football. What are they doing? This is the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end. Of course, he's still a little bitter because
the NFL has been sinking for years, clearly.
Everything's the beginning of the end.
Of course, it was so much the beginning of the end that the first game of the season, the Chiefs and the Ravens, was the biggest TV crowd.
Great
was it? Yeah, 8.9 million exceeded the Lions last year with 27.5 when they opened against.
Okay, I have a question about the opening game. On Friday, I got up and I start reading the normal places I go and kind of perusing around. And, of course, one of the big stories was Brittany Mahomes shut out of the broadcast, and she was not sitting next to Taylor Swift. Oh. And naturally, people were saying, oh, it's because she liked Trump's tweets, and Trump thanked her, and she thanked Trump back. And did anybody acknowledge why she was not shown on the broadcast? Because they always show Brittany Mahomes.
Did they always show her before Taylor?
I think she got shown a lot.
Weren't they in different suites? They were in different suites.
They were in different suites,
but the real news,
but
right?
they always sat next to each other in the suite before. So did Taylor, is the like Trump tweet the cause of that?
No, but what I mean is before Taylor Swift arrived in the Chiefs world.
Yes, she got shown plenty.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
They were tight. And so Taylor sat with her parents.
She sat with the Kelsey.
Guys,
They
breaking news.
They were in the suite, yeah.
I have breaking news. Following that game, Brittany and Tay-Tay both attended the U.S. Open together.
And hugged, I know. They hugged, too.
Well, now they hugged. The
hugged.
picture I saw, they were on opposite ends of the suite.
No, I saw that too, Mark.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Obama and Clinton said at the Democratic convention, you can't shut people out because of their political views. We have to treat everybody with respect and talk to them and listen.
Who has Thursday Night TV? Whose network? Is that on Fox or NBC?
Thursday night is NBC, right?
This past Thursday was NBC, yeah.
Well, apparently they shut Brittany Mahomes out due to the like tweet.
Yeah, well, DNBC. What does Trump call it? Instead of MSNBC?
I don't know. Oh, MS? Wait, I can't remember.
You are fake news.
So the Packers quarterback is hurt. Jordan Love got hurt the other night. The Bears won today, and the Vikings won today. So the Lions are 1-0, tied for first in their division, and we'll see how it goes. But
Caleb
so far,
Williams
so
did not
good.
have a great game, but it's the first game.
Okay,
they still won.
It was terrible. 29 yards worth of sacks. You had an awful first game.
Caleb Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How still won?
How hilarious is it that Deshaun Watson had another crap game?
He's bad.
So great.
The Browns lose, and Baker Mayfield throws 4 touchdowns and
Yeah.
has 300 yards passing for Tampa. I mean,
So
he's
great.
clearly outplayed him.
And he's got that mega contract. He's terrible. Oh, boy.
Mayfield has a $100 million contract with Tampa, and Deshaun Watson has $235 million, and they gave up 3 first-round draft picks. And Mayfield's outplaying him.
Well, that's the other aspect to it. Look how good Houston is.
Yeah. Oh, no
Yeah,
question.
with Stroud, who's making the rookie.
Surrounded by weapons.
It's Deshaun Watson karma affecting the Browns.
You think about it. They signed Dak. What so? Everybody said all along, Dak Prescott is due to get $60 million. They wait until an hour before the opening game to give him the obvious number that he was supposed to get all along. But think of it. The quarterback makes 60, and his receiver, DC Lamb, CD Lamb. Geez, sorry. Gets $35 million. So you got the quarterback and the receiver making $100 million. The money is just it's hard for me to comprehend.
How many years does he get $60 million? Is it 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
Wow.
231
I gotta tell you, I know Dak Prescott is very talented. I've seen him have fantastic games. I don't like him when the game's on the line. When an important game is on the line, that's not the QB I want.
That's the rap on him that he doesn't win the big one, but the pregame show is driving me crazy. I hate pregame shows so much, and I turned it on at 10 to 8, and for half an hour I had to hear Maria Taylor and Garrett and just yucking it up. It was just.
I'll tell you that. Did you see the commercial they did with the little guy that comes out of the? They were pretending that the other announcer was just like 2 inches tall. The acting was fantastic. Maria Taylor was almost Academy Award winning on it. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The third announcer pops out of this little
I didn't see that.
machine, and they're like, "Oh my God, why are you so small?" And Maria's acting was phenomenal, and was the other broadcaster too. They did a great job on that.
And is it Jason Garrett that's on that show? Can you put some fucking socks on? It was driving me nuts every time they went to the full body show. Did you notice that, Drew?
I did.
I knew you noticed it.
No, I did not.
Threw up every time.
What I noticed that Maria Taylor at
Former coach.
6'2" is taller than all the other men that she's on there with, and she's got like a mini skirt on, so she's all legs. But
Yeah. No, she's quite attractive, and she gets the job done. But the Tyreek Hill thing before the Dolphins game, okay, I still don't know why he was pulled over, but I do know that everyone is implying that the police have done something horrible. But the funny thing is if Tyreek Hill is wronged in any way, shape, or form, because the mountains will be moved to make sure that Tyreek Hill is not screwed in any way. But when Tyreek Hill does something wrong, he's like, whatever.
Did you see his touchdown celebration?
I did not. Oh, yeah, he handcuffs, I think, or something.
He was pretending to be arrested, yeah.
weren't you thinking when they busted him with a traffic violation near the stadium before the game that was Scotty Scheffler at the Masters?
Yeah, very similar.
I don't think they knew it was Tyreek Hill. Of course, all the Dolphins pull over to de-escalate.
Yeah, right.
And they said, "You're interfering with a traffic stop. Get the fuck out of here." And they didn't seem to want to get out of there. But they've got the body cam, so they'll sort it out. But somebody's already been he's been put on leave, I guess, with pay.
If people like college football more than the pros, and a lot of people like college basketball more than the pros, think of this. Here you have a Lions team where you know who all the players are almost. They're virtually the same team comes back, plus 3 or 4 outstanding new faces. And then you look at college football and say, who the hell are these guys? And yet, 90 people transferred for Colorado, 41 in and 45 out. And you look at Michigan.
And they're exactly the same team as they were last year.
So, college has gotten so ridiculous now, and yet, people still say, it's we love our alma mater. We don't care whether they got criminals on the roster. We don't care if they delete emails and steal signals and mislead opponents to get their recruits to go somewhere else.
People care when it's other schools than their school.
Right.
But when it's their school, they don't care.
They buy transfers with barrels of cash.
Of course.
Speaking of barrels of cash, I tell you, Michigan State, this Jonathan Smith, I think we were all very impressed. Right now, I would take easily over Michigan State's quarterback and coach.
And the wideout.
And the freshman, how they get this Nick Marsh, 8 catches, a touchdown. Aiden Childs is a $1.5 million quarterback at 18. And he's good, man. Did he come a long
made
way
some
between
beautiful
game
throws.
1 and game 2? Very impressed. And Jonathan Smith, he's a very low-key guy. 61 out of 118 players are new, and they look good. If the Michigan and Michigan State played tomorrow, I would take the Spartans over Michigan. Wouldn't you,
Yeah.
Mark?
No.
No?
I don't know.
At the big house, no.
I think we need a little larger sample size. But
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
The difference between game 1 and game 2 is phenomenal because in game 1, they looked so lost. Their offense looked so pathetic. And game 2, they looked really like they could move the ball
speed,
on anybody.
not just Marsh. They got some other receivers that are really, really good. They got a couple of good Carter's a good running back. The other guy was good. I was very impressed.
They
with
won on
Michigan
the road against a fairly good Maryland team. I mean, we don't know really what Maryland's going to be, but they should be okay.
Usually
It
on
should
the
be a
road
bowl
in Maryland
game.
should be a game Michigan State would lose,
That's a big
I would
game,
think.
yeah. No, it's a good win.
They got Antonio Gates Jr. also.
Back, yeah. Mhm.
And Evan Carter, the running back. But I have to tell you, I was watching the Virginia Tech Marshall game, and this is what happens every year. I don't watch every game. I might watch 4 Virginia Tech games or something like that, if it's convenient, because they haven't really been that good. And I always go, wait, who's this guy? Who's this new hotshot wide receiver? And I look him up, and it's like their third school.
Yeah.
And this Marshall guy made this one-handed catch that had to be on all the highlight. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. This guy made just one hand up there and pulled it down and like palmed the football. Amazing. So I'm like, who's this guy? I've never heard of this guy. And I look him up. He went to Louisville and Michigan State, and now he's at Marshall as a 5th-year senior.
They got Jack Tunnell from Michigan is a seventh-year player, although he's hurt. But
Is he hurt?
Yeah, he's had some type of injury. Yeah. But you really the relationship between Childs, the quarterback, who was a freshman last year, and Jonathan Smith is really, I think, something to admire. He had Childs as a teenager go see a sports psychologist to help him. He made sure, even though he was just a freshman, and DJ Ugalele was their star, he put him in the 3rd series of every game. He gave him some experience, and Childs said, "Wherever you're going, Coach, I'm coming." And it's actually a pretty good story for a change for Michigan State, which has been the laughing stock with the whole Mel Tucker garbage for the last year. Boy, doesn't Mel Tucker seem like it was years ago?
Yeah.
This time last year, he was coaching the Spartans.
That case is not settled, is it?
I don't think so, no.
Wouldn't you think they'd want to just settle that and get it out of the way?
Well, speaking of settling, wouldn't you think that Michigan would have signed their coaches to contracts right at this point? The fact that they're not signed to contracts is a very weird story. And Ward Manuels just basically said that he said there's other things that they're working on. There's other issues, and that there's no real worry about here.
Okay,
so many other issues other than signing your coach.
Okay.
Like making sure you got more kiosks to sell the $13 beer, right? That you said people were.
Yeah, when you're laying an egg against Texas, and this guy hasn't signed his contract yet. I mean, really?
Yep.
And
It's a verbal agreement.
I heard Pat Caputo say that Sharon Moore's been set up to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
He may get suspended again. He's got the erased text messages. Can they say, well, no, you got in trouble in the NCAA again. That's twice, Sharon, and you lost 3 games this year, so see ya.
Yeah, absolutely could.
What would they do, though? They keep him on the verbal contract all year long and then let him go? Because you're not going to get a new coach right now.
Who the fuck does that?
Ward.
Nobody does that.
But you think
if a guy's facing his 2nd suspension and you can't sign him because of it, then you can't have him be your head coach.
And if you say it was agreed there's a $30 million 5-year contract, so that was 6 months ago. So why couldn't you get that signed? Is it?
I would think Sharon Moore would be. I would think he'd say, I can't come to work if you're not going to sign me. I mean, the season has started. This is ridiculous.
Well, and that, I think, something to do with it. He's got no bargaining power. He's got no leverage. He's got no record.
He has the job.
He's got the job, but,
But he just laid an egg against Texas, so I don't know if he does have the job.
Didn't I say on the show last week that I thought that there was no way Michigan was going to lose by less than 6 points?
Yeah,
to Texas. That was so
they
obvious.
laid a big fat egg.
They got a Heisman Trophy quarterback. He's the 2nd or 3rd choice for Heisman Trophy right now. They got an offensive line. 4 seniors are back. Michigan had that game was over so early, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Well, it doesn't help that they turned the ball over. I mean, the interception, the fumble by Loveland, I mean, that was the game right there. So the defense is on a short field. They're on the field the whole fucking first half. That was an
There's nobody to really protect Loveland. They had Roman Wilson last year. They had
the two big concerning things to me regarding Michigan is A, they're dropping passes, and B, they're not tackling very well. Which,
Right.
Aren't those both kind of coaching things?
Yeah,
I mean, those are fundamental.
It's not like they're
things.
playing a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, though. A lot of these guys have played.
I know that's what's a
defensive
surprise.
guys.
That's what's surprising.
Yeah, they look.
Not
something
pretty.
does not look the same. Not just the fact that they lost a lot of good players. They have a lot of good players too. They were ranked what 8th or 9th or something.
Yeah,
And
no, they're 17th now.
something that hurt them, I think, was they went so far into the season. Obviously, they played the last game that was well into January. Is that all the good quarterbacks had already moved on? There were no quarterbacks left on the portal.
For the portal. Well, they had the spring portal. I guess there was really nobody in the spring portal. But why don't they
How
have
could it come down to that, though? How could they let it come down to that? Like, well, gosh, if we are in the playoffs, I guess we won't have a quarterback next year. That's ridiculous. Why wouldn't they have a quarterback they recruited 2 years ago or something?
I think they thought they did.
Orgy?
And it's not Orgy.
Yeah.
And that's just become so clear now for whatever reason. He can't throw the ball.
Well, then why wouldn't they get him the fuck out of there this year and bring another quarterback?
I think it was just.
I think they would. There was still talk about whether or not JJ was going to come back. There was still talk whether or not
JJ was not coming back.
They lose their quarterback, who's a first-round draft pick. They lose their coach, who's considered one of the greatest coaches in all of football. They lose their entire offensive line.
But they
didn't lose
but
Harbaugh.
but
Harbaugh could not come back.
That's right.
Could not come back.
No, he couldn't. Not with that NCAA witch hunt.
And JJ was not coming back. He was a top 10 pick.
Right.
Well, then what incentive is there for Harbaugh to really work towards next year if he wasn't going to come back?
I thought he was a Michigan man.
I think he's a Harbaugh man first and foremost.
I do too.
Well, there are some good teams that are not looking very good. Oregon has struggled.
But aside from that, what I was going to say is they really missed on Orgy, right? I mean, there's no doubt he's not the quarterback.
Well, it looks like they missed on Davis too.
He was
What was it?
preferred walk-on.
Remember they had like 4th and 3, and they bring Orgy in, they run him up the middle, and he gets
two
nothing.
third downs. He got stuffed on a run.
I don't understand how they can have these two guys and a 7th-year guy, and those are your choices? After you had J.J. McCarthy?
They do have Jaden Davis, who was their big freshman recruit, but he's a freshman.
Fucking play him.
I say throw him to the Wolves next week, man. Get him out there against Arkansas State.
Absolutely.
You can still redshirt him.
MSU hosts Prairie View. Don't know much about them, and Michigan hosts Arkansas State. So a lot of the good teams are the teams that were expected to do better, like Michigan haven't, Oregon hasn't, and Notre Dame. Notre Dame loses to at rank number 5 to Northern Illinois, 16-14. This is an upset of monumental proportion. They were 28.5-point underdogs. So the last play was an attempted 62-yard field goal by Notre Dame. Here's the radio call by is it the College Station, whatever the Northern Illinois broadcast team is. Listen to this.
Before you hit that, I just want to say, when I saw the kick and I saw where the ball went, I laughed so hard. I don't know why that was so funny to me. It was like the Colts guy that missed the field goal by a mile, the kicker in the playoffs. Anyway, let's go.
He's lining it up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country!
And
Why does he dunk like that?
And the coach,
He blocked it.
Thomas Hammock, is bawling his eyes out in the post-game interview on the field, and then here he was in the locker room later with his ecstatic Northern Illinois Huskies.
Listen, what you can do with the power of belief and working together and just staying through it, through thick and thin. That's what we are. That's a team. That's a family. That's guys that want it. I told you all week, we did not need luck. We did not need luck.
Yeah, he's down, coach. Yeah,
Throw a wall right now.
Notre Dame.
hell yeah.
By the way, on the other side of the coin, at the end of the Colorado game, did you see that Shedeur Sanders walked off the field into the locker room with like 2 minutes left in the game?
No, really? Well, he was hurt. He was beat up. So was Shiloh broke his arm or leg?
It was not. No. The quarterback.
Yeah, no. He was hurt as well. He got hurt at some point in that
Shiloh,
game.
the defensive back, was hurt.
I thought they were suggesting that he walked off
Maybe
without medical people, like he just didn't feel like being on the sideline anymore. But maybe I got that wrong.
That one was over.
I feel bad for Shedeur, though. That guy is running for his life on every goddamn play.
And there's no offensive line.
He sacked the most, right? Wasn't he the most sacked quarterback last year?
And he and Travis Hunter are going to be.
Travis Hunter's ridiculous.
In the top 5. Travis Hunter is ridiculous.
Wait, Shedeur Sanders going to be that high pick?
Oh, yeah. Is he that good? I think he's going to be the first quarterback. Maybe.
You think so? No. Ewers, at least.
Well,
right?
well, yeah. He and Ewers. And, Dylan Gabriel may come on. There's some other.
George's quarterback, too.
Say $9.99 to Vert says Sanders walking off some weak shit, dude. See, he knows.
Dylan Raiola. Dominic's son.
How about that?
Matthew Stafford's godson.
Yeah. That's
what they said during the game. Bloop. That's what they said during the game. So you're going to hear that every time he plays a game now, right?
Well, meanwhile, as you pointed out, to change subjects here. Oh, by the way, Brady. So, what kind of reactions? He seemed really nervous to me. He didn't do badly, but he is Tom Brady. $37 million. He's getting 3.5? What is he? He's getting over $2 million.
$350 million for
too much.
10 years, isn't it?
Or is that $75 million? 10 years at $37.5 a year.
Good God.
He seemed a little tight.
This is his first game. I thought he was nervous. Honestly, I didn't think he was as bad as people were claiming. Oh, my God, he's the worst.
Well, that's
his
ridiculous.
First game.
There's going to be hyperbole. But at the same time, he's not a terribly engaging person. Like, when you hear him in interviews, do you find Tom Brady to be...
No. He's very friendly. He's friendly. He's just a nice guy.
Engaging? Is he interesting?
Guarded. He's a
guarded,
bit guarded. But
he's talking about football.
He's a color commentator. It's not that... It's an important role, but it doesn't make the broadcast. It doesn't, as long as you don't fuck it up, you just have to describe the plays. The game kind of speaks for itself.
Are you telling me anyone would have turned off the game tonight because I don't like the color guy?
Of course not.
I'm not watching it.
You're not going to turn it on for the color
guy. They could pay people $5 to do the game, and we would watch it, and we would just turn it down if it was that bad.
It's we're a celebrity-based society.
Although
it's a pretty big name.
I did quickly turn away from Colorado and Nebraska because I couldn't stand Colt McCoy. He was driving me nuts. Plus, the game got blown out pretty quick. I don't know if you caught that or not, but Colt McCoy's not very good.
I just say
Jesse Palmer, the Bachelor host, he's really good doing the game.
I would be, if I were Tom Brady, I'd be a little bit concerned about taking a giant contract like that more than anyone else doing color and putting myself under that kind of pressure without proving myself at all.
You mean the guy that had a deal with Crypto.com or XTF,
no, that's
whatever
what I mean.
it was?
He seems so desperate to take money for anything. He took $30 million to get the shit roasted out of him that his family made fun of. I mean, I was like, he got paid for that? I didn't know he took money.
You'd think if you're worth $500 million, you wouldn't want the pressure of getting twice as much as the other guys who have been doing this for a long time, like Troy Aikman and Collinsworth and others. Romo.
These guys they all grab every penny they can, whether it's all the brand deals, like, what's the chick, the WNBA chick that has 21 brand deals?
I don't know.
Oh,
Angel Reese. How can anybody get anything out of that? And she's bragging, 21 brand deals.
And Brady was doing they showed him in the booth there watching his own commercial because before the game started, whatever company it is that he's with now, he does 3. So it's just
these people are never
Brady
overexposed.
watching Brady do his commercial and
God.
Is anyone ever overexposed? Does that ever happen now? Because it used to.
Yeah.
Kelsey brothers.
People.
Kelsey brothers.
Yeah,
Kelsey brothers.
Jason Kelsey in particular. Man.
How about Dion? Dion's got at least 7 or 8 national deals, although I think they've kind of slowed down since he became
I have to tell you, I got really sick of seeing Good Morning America interview him and talk about how wonderful he was all the time.
But has there really been better chemistry than Dion and Saban in those Affleck commercials?
They're good. They're good. Well, Saban's got no person. They're just bad. Saban's got no personality.
For all the media ass kissing of Deion, and then he acts like the media's out to stab me in the back.
That's right. That's right.
Bullshit.
There's two local writers you won't even let ask him questions now because he didn't like the way they've been on his case. Well, what's with our Tigers? They roll out these. They've got so many pitchers that we've never heard of until the last month, whether it's Hannafy or Herter or Madden, but they're pitching very, very well.
Who pitched today?
The guy named Madden, but
he pitched 1 inning before today in the major leagues.
Yeah, before today.
The guy that pitched 5 innings today. I didn't know who he was.
Giving up a run.
I'm still sleeping.
They're 3.5 games out of the wild card, and they're pitching a guy who's never pitched more than an inning in the major leagues. It seemed kind of weird.
How about this? There are 2 other guys today. Ricky Vanasco worked the 7th, and Sean Gunther pitched, maybe that was yesterday, pitched an inning in a 3rd, and you say, who are these guys? They're 3.5 games out of the final wild card because Minnesota lost in Kansas City today. They're 76 and 67. The Twins are. The Tigers are 73 and 71. They got 18 games to go to make up 3.5 on Minnesota. They don't play them, unfortunately. They play Baltimore 6 times, and they've got the best record in the league.
They got to have it. I tell you what, if they're serious, you're going to have to pile up wins against the Colorados and the White Sox, and are those the 2 only easy series they have?
They finished with the White Sox.
They have Tampa for 3 games.
No, they don't play Colorado. Let me see.
Yeah, they play Colorado tomorrow. Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, or do they?
Yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay. Then they play Baltimore, huh?
Wait, what day is it right now? Is it Monday right now?
Technically, yeah.
Technically, yes.
Do the Tigers play Monday night at home, or are they off?
They play Tuesday.
Okay.
Anyway, final 2 weeks of Dr. Yaldo's 20% off for the Clearview implantable lens. Procedure that'll permanently give you precise near vision, no more readers or bifocals for life. In a matter of minutes and with no pain, Clearview replaces your natural lenses that lose their effectiveness after 40. I think you know about that. You have a hard time reading the small stuff. You got to keep your phone at arm's length just to see it. And the Clearview also allows you to see crystal clear at all distances. You'll never again need to get an eye exam for a new prescription for your distance vision. Imagine never needing glasses, contacts, or readers again for life. And if you're younger and LASIK is still your best option, Dr. Yaldo also continues a summer sale on custom LASIK for $14.99 an eye, no matter what your prescription might be. Certain restrictions apply. So go to YaldoEyeCenter.com like so many of Drew's podcast listeners have done. Sign up and let Dr. Yaldo help you see like an eagle. Good night.
Hey, get out of here.
It's late. See you.
Hey, get out of here.